The OPZ, I have neglected you for way too long. You know I love you, right? Okay. I've been focusing so much on OP1 content recently that I haven't really given a chance to this little cutie right here. Everyone just keeps mistaking him as a channel changer too, which is kind of weird. I'll be giving you guys a detailed walkthrough of how I made this electro dance beat on the OPZ exclusively. There's a lot of content in this video, so if you ever feel overwhelmed, just take a second to pause and absorb the information. Another important thing that I should mention is that there's a bunch of different ways that you could record into the OPZ. I'm going to be focusing on actually performing the parts instead of just punching them in. Oh, and before we get started, if you're new to this channel, I welcome you with open arms. Make sure to drop a like, maybe subscribe if you're into this sort of content. It would be great to have you on board. For those of you who are already subscribers, I thank you so much for being here. I'm pretty dedicated to creating content that's valuable for you guys. Let's get straight into it. Here we have the channel changer, I mean OPZ. Obviously there's no screen on the OPZ. There is a possibility to hook it up to your iPhone or your iPad, but I don't really see a use in doing that. I've gotten pretty used to using the OPZ without the screen, and I think that you're better off just not relying on it. Don't worry though, I'll be as clear as possible, and if at any point you're stuck, like I mentioned before, just pause the video and absorb. For this track, we'll start with the drums. The first thing we'll do is set the tempo though. So to do that, you click on the metronome up here, and then you'll notice that the tempo shows. So right now we're at 120, 120. If you want to change the tempo, you just twist this first knob here. So I turned it up, now we're at 125. We'll keep it at 120 though, so I'll go back to 120, 120, 121, 122, 120. Good. Next thing is to actually turn on the click to have something to program to. So to do that, same thing, click the metronome button, and this is the click volume here. So I'll just turn that up. And there we have our click. One thing to take note of is that you have to press play for the click to actually start. We're in prime like dance tempo territory right now, so I'm just gonna add a 4 on the floor kick. To actually get to the kick, you hold the far left button here and then press the kick button. And now we have a selection of a bunch of kicks. If you hold H down while you're on the kick, now you have a bunch of different sound banks for even more kicks. So let's check the second bank. Cool, check the third one. There's just so many. So we'll go back to, let's say the second bank. I'll stick to that one for now. Next, we'll select the length of the pattern. So to do that, you hold H, shift. Right now we're at 1 bar. If you want to go to, let's say 4 bars, now we're at 4 bars. To record, you press the record and play button. Now you can see that the track's armed, and as soon as you play the click will start and you start recording. One thing to make sure of is that the click volume is actually on, otherwise you don't know what the tempo is. Okay, so I messed up. Let's say I want to erase that now and restart the whole pattern. So to do that, H and stop. So now you can see that the pattern is erased and I could arm the track again. This is an electro dance sort of track, so we want that kick to be right on the tempo. To do that, hold H and then twist the third knob here, and now you can see that it's fully quantized, so now it's going to be right on the click. If you don't want it to be fully quantized, you could just turn it back down and you could see the intensity of the quantization. So for now, we'll stick to fully quantized. Now we don't really need the click, so click, this is the volume of the click, right? Bloop, off. And now we just have the kick. Now we'll add hi-hats. To head to hi-hats, H, hi-hats. So let's take a look at them. That's not a hi-hat. That's like a tom. That's not a hi-hat. That's the first bank. Let's check the second bank. So H 2. So now we're on the second bank. Ooh, I like that one. Third bank. That's not really hi-hat territory anymore. Let's go to the second bank again. Let's do this one. So same thing again, H shift, we're gonna make it a 4-bar pattern now. The process here is the same as the kick. There's one little difference though. So same thing, record, play. So now we're armed. Because the hi-hat's gonna be syncopated, it's playing on all the ands, it's not playing on the downbeat. So I have to press play to start the click and then catch the hi-hat on the upbeat. So I'll show you what I mean. Same thing as before, I want this to be quantized, so H, third knob, fully quantized. Nice and electro-y. Next, we'll add snare. So H, second one is snare. It doesn't really look like a snare, it looks more like a space alien of some sort. It's a snare, so let's go through this bank. Okay, second bank. Some really nice ones in there. Third bank. Those fat like 70s snares, they always get me. So we'll stick to that one. Same thing as before, H shift, we'll make it a 2-bar pattern this time. Record and play to arm it, and just like with the hi-hat, because the snare's not playing on beat 1, I have to press play to start the pattern. Also, if you want, you could add some layers to your snare, so you don't have to just stick to one snare at a time, you could play 2. Let's record it. Same thing as before, H, fully quantize. I've got to say that the drums on the OPZ sound f***ing good. So we've completed the drums. Let's take a look at the bass. So H and B is for bass. And then you have a bunch of different selections. Let's see what the first one sounds like. H, let's go to the second bank. Third bank, H3. Maybe too much resonance. Let's go to the fourth one. I really like this bank, but let's go a bit further with it. So H again, and you'll notice that within this bank, there's a bunch of little dots here. So these are all different presets. So let's go to the second one. Third. I kind of like the first one best. Once again, I want this to be a 4-bar pattern, so H, shift, we're at 1 bar, let's go to 4. And next we'll audition a 4-bar bass line. Cool, I've had a second to audition that. Record, play, we're armed. Because we're playing on beat 1, the pattern will start as soon as we start playing the bass. Oh yeah, nailed it. Same thing as before, H, twist the third one, and now we're fully quantized. Next is chords. H, CH is for chords. And there we go. The first preset is honestly my favorite by far. It seems to be everyone's go-to. Let's take a look at that one first. It just has like a really smooth quality to it that I really like. So let's head to the second one, H second bank. Third bank. This is some really cool stuff for ambient music, but not really what we're looking for. Let's go to the fourth bank. Same thing, ambient, 5. We'll go back to bank 1 and let's check out the different presets. So the second one. Third one. That fourth one's really cool, but it might be a little bit too weird. So let's go to the third preset. I really like that one. And we'll switch it to a 4-bar pattern. So H, shift again, and we'll go to 4. A few simple things before laying down the chords. These two buttons here are to go up or down an octave. So plus and then minus. And we'll go down even another octave. I already know what chords I'm going to use, but if you guys want to search, now would be a good time to pause the video. Once again, record, play to arm it, and then I'll just start playing the chords. Okay, there was a little flub there. I'm not sure what happened, so I'm going to erase that once again. H, stop, and that will erase the whole pattern. And I'm going to record it again. So record, play. Let's quantize that once again. H, fully quantized. These chords sound great, but I want to make them a little fuller. So that's one cool thing about the OPZ is that you could record over something you've already done. We'll audition a few notes before actually recording, and I know I'm going to put them up the octave. So right away, I'll just go up the octave, and let's audition. I actually like this better than what I did in the original. You guys are lucky.
Just so magical.
Let's record that second chord part. The only thing now is that if I mess up these notes, the whole pattern is messed up. So you gotta be careful with that. Record, play to arm, and then I'll just start playing the chords. Wish me luck. Okay, yeah. That sounds really good. At a certain point though, it does get a little bit wonky. If you add too many notes, some of the original notes do get erased. Unfortunately, that's actually a downfall of the OPZ. If you try to record a pattern that's just too long and too intricate, certain notes start to get left out. Definitely a step down from the OP1 in that department. Let's add one last element. To get to the lead melody, H, quarter note. You got the drill at this point. H, shift, make it a 4-bar pattern. And we'll start looking for sounds. That one doesn't really fit. 2. This is definitely my favorite sound of the bunch. H, let's check a couple of the presets. Second one. Definitely not. Okay, let's stick to the first one and we'll record something. So make sure I'm at 4 bars, yes. Record, play, so now we're armed. Once again, I already know what I'm gonna play, but if you wanna experiment, pause the video and do so. Here we go. We'll quantize it, H. The OPZ does offer one last element in terms of instrumentation, and that's the arpeggio. So that's this one here, the 3 dots. But it's kind of its own beast, and I'm not going to focus on it in this video. We definitely have enough to work with as is. These are all the elements that make up the track, but I'll give you guys one more trick to play around with and have some fun. And that's this button on the top right here. I guess you call it the mixing button. I use this button to add or take out elements from the track. So for example, if I'm playing it and I want to take out, let's say, the kick drum, just press the kick drum. Okay, now I want the snare to be gone. No hi-hat. This is a super useful live tool if you want to add dynamics to your music. So I'll leave it at that for now. I wanted to keep this video nice and simple and kind of surface level for beginner users of the OPZ. Also, I'll be focusing on OPZ videos for the next little while, but that definitely doesn't mean that I'm going to stop making OP1 content. And I don't want to spoil anything, but there may be an OP1 OPZ combo as well coming pretty soon. Although I definitely have some homework to do before pulling that one off. I'd just like to thank everybody for watching this video or watching my content in general. If you're already a subscriber, you're the best. If not, consider liking, sharing, subscribing, smash that subscribe button. You know, I would really, really appreciate it. It really helps me with what I do, and I'm always happy to be creating for you guys. Yeah, great. I guess I'll see you guys in the next one. Original beat coming at you in 3, 2, 1.